I'm on a mission to watch movies from the 80s and 90s in the early 2000s, as I was a very avid rewatcher growing up, which means I watched the same movies over and over and over. And by doing that, I missed a few. So I reached out to all of you. Which movies from the 80s and 90s in the early 2000s are must see? Which movies formed your childhood? You guys have been flooding my comment section with recommendations, and I am slowly getting through them. Today is another one from the comment section, so shout out to Kyle for today's recommendation. Today's movie is the Disney 1991 action adventure film The Rocketeer, starring Billy Campbell and Jennifer Connelly. I am going to be switching things up today, and I will be mentioning spoilers, so spoiler alert right now. If you want to go and watch the movie, save this video and come back later so that there aren't any spoilers. The Rocketeer is a movie based off of a comic book that follows around Cliff, a pilot who is down on his luck and happens to find a treasure trove. This could totally turn things around for Cliff. The problem is, Cliff isn't the only one that wants it. I'm going to start with the acting. I thought that it was a great cast. There are a lot of big names in this movie. I personally know Billy Campbell from Enough with Jennifer Lopez. He kind of like scarred my childhood, but I was actually rooting for his character. So that's some good acting in my opinion. To shout out Alan Arkin from Little Miss Sunshine, Timothy Dalton, Margot Martindale, a lot of big names in this movie. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. I'm personally just not that big of a Jennifer Connelly fan. It's just me. I don't think that she's that great of an actress. She's gorgeous. I'm sure she's got a great personality. No hate, no shade. I just don't particularly like her acting. I'm sorry. And I just want to say up front that I did like this movie. It was very entertaining. It was very fun. There are going to be things that I point out, but it doesn't mean that I don't like the movie. I can enjoy things and still criticize them. I think the fact that I want to talk about this movie so much just shows how much I enjoyed it. I've said this a few times in my reviews. I just love the contrast of these older movies. I watched a newer movie the other day, and the washed out beigeness compared to these like deep, rich colors of these older movies, you just can't compete. They are so good. Not all new movies, but some new movies. I thought the movie was beautifully shot. I am a sucker for interesting lighting. They had like the green glowing light, which I really liked. They had a lot of different sets. I mean, it was Disney. They had explosions. There was a lot going on to look at. I think the CGI was done really well. As I'm watching these older movies, I don't think that the CGI is that much worse than some of the terrible AI CGI that we're seeing today. I think they're pretty comparable. Commentary and messaging was very interesting to me. Everyone in the community is very close knit. They're all there for each other. They hide Cliff, they lie for Cliff. There's a little girl that needs like help with her doll. They're helping Cliff with Jenny and like what to say. It's a very close knit like family community. The commentary on the police was quite interesting. They destroy Cliff's plane and he's like very upset and they do not care. Cliff knows who the Nazi is and they don't. So it's very much displays them as like bumbling and having no idea what's going on. Definitely like in America First messaging, you have in the beginning, it's Cliff versus the FBI versus the mob. And then in the end, you find out that he's with the Nazis. So then you have the FBI and the mob and Cliff versus the Nazis. So everybody switches sides when they find out that it's America that's at stake here, not just a rocket. Even the mobster who is hurting people and torturing people for information throughout the movie ends up, switching sides because America. There are tons of references to history in this movie. It is set in the 30s, so they had like the Luxembourg, they had Hollywood, Howard Hughes. I really, really liked all of the like little history Easter eggs that were in there. It made the movie very interesting and fun. I loved the story of this movie because I love a good MacGuffin trope where like there's an object or something that everybody wants. So like everybody is after it. I'm thinking like Pulp Fiction with the suitcase and Escape from New York with the suitcase and True Romance with the suitcase. Seriousness, I do love that trope. I loved how all the like stories intertwined. I loved how when you thought it was going to go one way, it went a different way. The attic opens up and the gun comes out to Peavy. I was like, oh no. And then you don't find out like later, oh, it was the FBI. I loved the characters in this movie. I thought they were amazing. The way that even the side characters you were rooting for. I loved Jenny. I thought she was so smart. She stuck up for herself. She knew what she wanted. She was trying to like push Cliff out of his comfort zone.
Jenny, prepare yourself for a shock. I'm the Rocketeer.
The Rock of who?
Oh, for crying out loud, haven't you read the papers?
No, I've been working all
But
day.
look,
Character of Cliff, who is, very heroic, very brave. He wants to save everybody, but he also is a little hard headed. You have Peavy, who is the voice of reason. He's the Jiminy Cricket, trying to be like, come on, Cliff, we got to do the right thing. Will say, though, where's Jenny's happy ending? Like, come on now. Whole beginning, you have Cliff and Jenny are fighting because he isn't sharing his career with her and he's also not supporting her career at the exact same time. Jenny is actively telling him about this part and he's like, "Oh, you have lines this time? Oh, let me guess, this guy kisses you?" Even when he like goes to the set and he messes up the entire set, he does not say sorry. He's just like, "Oh, well this wasn't even that interesting of a part anyway." She asks him about the flight and he straight up lies to her. And then the reason that he lies to her, he's like, "Well, you weren't at the flight." And she's like, "Yeah, because I had an audition." And he's like, "Oh, like last time for that job that didn't amount to anything?" Rude. Cliff really does try to do the right thing. He's like, "I thought you wanted to know." He's lacking the emotional maturity. I think that he learns his lesson by giving up the rocket, right? But then at the end, they get the plans for the rocket. He gets his plane back, he gets the rocket, he has Jenny, except Jenny doesn't have an acting job now. And her connection to Hollywood is now gone. Overall, I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5 stars. Despite Jennifer Connelly, I thought that the cast was really great. They had great chemistry, which added to their overall theme of community. The cinematography was great. It was beautiful. It had a lot of big sets, explosions, CGI. It had a beautiful score. I loved all the references to history. I loved it being set in the 30s. The commentary was not surprising. It is set in the 30s. Who's a better bad guy than a Nazi? There isn't one. Overall, I did enjoy the messaging of community, perseverance, being there for one another, and I really did enjoy this movie. I thought it was great. On IMDb, it's listed as a family movie. Disney has it as an action adventure, so be cautious, I guess, if you have any children watching it. I think anyone over 10 is fine. I don't know, you're the parent. You can watch my other reviews at hashtag older movie reviews, and I hope you have a great day.